Uh, Major chunk of the money in Odisha from music, yes, comes from YouTube first. Can you guess the second revenue generating stream?
No, tell me.
It's called a ringback tunes. And surprisingly, I failed in everything else but music. That is something that has been a constant since I was born. I tend to bring in audio visual experiences of things instead of just playing music to people, because that's how you consume music as well. You see a music video and you hear the song and it kind of strikes a chord in your brain. What my mother used to do is turn on the tape recorder and I would just go silent, or turn on the television and I would just go silent. I used to respond and I would reach out to the source of music or the video that is playing.
Any music that I have is basically school prayers, right?
Exactly.
School prayer
Exactly. Rashtragan and school prayers and all the national songs that you have from Ata Udubu.
Yeah.
Music as a subject, it should be introduced in schools, in my opinion. How the whole industry is, because till now I don't think our parents know how musicians get money. I went there with an open mind, but I was ready to receive. So when I went there, it was a very physically and mentally strenuous activity for 10 days.
It is basically your entry into the electronic music scene.
And so it begins.
We are about to reach our destination.
नमस्कार द ओडिशा ड्रीम रो थर्ड एपिसोड को मैं आपको स्वागत जनाऊँगी. Today we have a very interesting guest, an IT engineer turned music producer who has established himself in Mumbai and in Odisha. And the passion that he has for music is immense. I have known him for a couple of years. So I welcome Sangeet Pattnaik.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sangeet, welcome to the Odisha Dream. I'll give you a brief about Odisha Dream. So Odisha Dream गोटे concept जोतरे आमे try करूचु entrepreneurs, young producers like you, directors and politicians, and get their story out to the mass of Odisha, so that जदि आमे ground level रे in the rural space or in the urban space in Odisha, if you could inspire even a one person, then the concept of Odisha Dream is successful, I believe, right? So your journey has been really interesting, Sangeet, and we both are grown up in Paradeep. So Paradeep ru journey to Mumbai as a music producer, and tell me about that journey. It's very interesting, I'm sure.
Sure, I think people have to be ready for a very long ride.
We have a long format. You can go ahead.
So, as you know, Paradeep is a pretty small place, a small town, and while growing up, it's also an industrial township, right? So parents would want their kids to be engaged in co-curricular activities as much as possible. That happened to me as well. My parents pushed me a lot to try out different forms of art, and surprisingly, I failed in everything else but music. That is something that has been a constant since I was born. Since me holding the small keyboard that my father got me from Nepal, because it was very hard to get instruments in India, I started playing stuff on my own without any training as such. It's just, I think my ears were pretty much tuned to producing or playing music with instruments. Any kind of instrument or dabba I would get, I would just start banging and making, just sort of replicating what I heard in the tapes my father had. Before that, I would like to speak about my name. Exactly. Because people think that it's like a stage name or something, and I've given myself the name. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, इनकी किसी भी नहीं है. My parents gave me the name. My parents are doctors and they used to work in a central government hospital, and they used to be very busy with their shifts. सो कौन होता कि जिते से मैंने मत छाड़ी जीवार थिला शिफ्ट कि मु बहुत कांदुली and what my mother used to do is turn on the tape recorder and I would just go silent, or turn on the television and I would just go silent. I used to respond and I would reach out to the source of music or the video that is playing. So that's how mom and dad sort of got to know that I have some affinity towards sound, some affinity towards Sangeet, towards music. So they named me that within like 1.5 months of me being born, but they never thought I would pursue it. So initially, I used to just fiddle around with instruments. I used to listen to a lot of stuff. My father had a great cassette collection at that time, and I was very fortunate that I heard so many different kinds of music growing up in the first 5 years of my life. And when after 5 years, I always had instruments surrounded by me, but my first formal training started when I was in class 2 or 3
In Paradip?
in Paradip,
Okay.
KVN's Rock. So while in school, I remember my first ever music teacher. He was blind by nature, Mr. Behra. He believed in me from the day he heard me sing or touch the harmonium, and which was I couldn't understand that. Because it was like I'm seeing my seniors play the harmonium or any other instrument, but he had the special corner in his heart for me, and he sort of called me to his place to sort of teach me. I want to teach you things. I was like, why would somebody do that? Because I already see him in school. This is like I felt like, why do I need to be taught? Why not everybody else? But then he explained to me later that you have something in you. You have an affinity towards music. So I think this should be a way you should channel your creativity. So he taught me my first piece of instrument, which was harmonium. And you know how harmonium and school assemblies go.
Absolutely. The first exposure to any music that I have is basically school prayers, right?
Exactly.
School prayer so to gita bajauthile, right?
Exactly. Rashtragan and school prayers,
correct.
and all the national songs that you have from Ata Udubu.
Yeah.
So it started from that. And picking up songs like commercial songs and Bollywood songs, it was a piece of cake for me because
ତମେ ସେତେବେଳେ ବି play କରୁଥିଲ, like?
yeah, my first song when
Nice.
I was 2 years old was Pardesi.
Oh,
It was
nice.
easy as fuck. But then it became very easy for me to pick up songs, and then my parents used to push me to go and perform in these co-curricular functions, and then competition. They used to send me in competitions and all. And after
But I think benefit of being in Paradip is that only, like you are staying in a colony, so colony re samaste pray samastଙ୍କୁ ଚିହ୍ନିଛନ୍ତି and ସବୁବେଳେ ସେଠି events
and
ହଉଥାଏ.
there is competition among
Correct.
kids. You have to, like, why is this person playing better than me?
Correct.
I have to practice hard. So that was there. That competitiveness was there. The exposure to the cultural side of things was there. And after some time, after playing school prayers, I got a bit fed up. I get fed up of things very easily in terms of music. If I'm playing something or pursuing something for a very long time, I think change is necessary. You need to adapt. So I thought that I need to step up my game and learn another instrument. So Paradip had this great school come cultural center called Sagarika Kalaniketan.
Mhm.
It was just right behind my house. I was fortunate that way. And that was the center for every single kid's inclination towards art. So there was Odissi, there was Hindustani classical, there was tabla, there was violin. I have seen, basically I used to go there and just chill with my friends. And I never thought that I was made for a very strict vocational training in the field of music. But then my mom said, why don't you try it out? Take some friends along. If you feel left out, you take some friends along. I now remember why she did that, because she knew that I was better than the two people that she sent me with, so that I would get inspired. So I started playing the guitar. It's a traditional guitar. You actually put it on the lap, and you use a bar to just slide and play.
Oh,
You must
I
have
know.
heard of that. So it was sort of a Hawaiian guitar. But what disappointed me is that I can't just hold it like that and play. So I started asking questions to my teacher, like, why is this like that, and why can't I play it? He's like, this is a very classical way of playing guitars, and what you see and hear, it's a Western sort of guitar playing that is taught, and we can't teach you here. So I was like, what can I learn that will benefit me, because I was also feeling restrictive in guitar. Then violin happened to me, and that changed my life.
I've seen you play violin, man. You are
Thank you so much.
amazing.
So Guru Vimchan Kotua, he was my violin instructor. He taught me violin for at least 10 years. I didn't stop learning violin even when I was in class 11th and 12th. Well, everybody just drops out of everything extracurricular during that time. I stuck to it, and I have passed all the examinations, the masters, the MA, the 5-year, 6-year exams that I've given. That changed my life. It taught me discipline. It taught me consistency. It sort of gave a rise to a newfound respect for music.
Mhm.
How one should learn music. Music is not only about saregama or do re mi fa. It's a language. You have to know how to speak your heart out, speak your emotions out through music, and that taught me that the when people say that you need a guru in your life, guru teaches you not only that particular subject, but also other aspects of life, like how to grow as a person, how you can instill the qualities that you learn in music in your personal life. So yeah, that's how it started, and I have performed in multiple stages when it came to violin, and I truly felt like that was the instrument I have been looking for the longest time. And I went and represented the school, my school, and also the port as a whole in inter-department and major port competitions. And I think that was the time when I figured that there is life outside Paradeep, right? Because I have been nurtured, I was nurtured in a way that you have to be better than this guy or that guy or your friend. But then when I saw people from other institutions and other cities and their culture, I felt like I need to go out and explore. And
Now that's a very interesting story. You were very engrossed in the music.
Yeah.
In Paradeep, but tapare, why did you choose to do an engineering out of nowhere?
Because fact, I was not going to even do engineering. Since my parents are doctors, I was inspired since I was a kid to become a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I can literally prescribe you medicines from my tip of the tongue. So people call me Choto Doctor or something like that. It was like that because I have been around hospitals, patients, medicines, or whatever new advancements that are there in the field of medicine. I shit you not, I have seen laparoscopic surgeries, videos of laparoscopic surgeries with my father in my computer because he did not know how to operate.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to just turn them on and I used to watch it with him. And he used to explain all the procedures and all. So it was pretty natural for me. And I gave the entrance exams, but I didn't get any government colleges. And my father said ki government college no hele padhebi. I was like, I didn't want to drop a year after 12th because I think it would have affected my sanity. But I had decent marks in Odisha JEE, so I got into Silicon, which was supposed to be a great college. Anyway,
No
for
comments.
people who wanted to study. That was my first taste of going away from my home and sort of finding a community where I can be a part of. In the first year itself, my sort of a dream came true where the college band approached me to play guitars. Since I did not know how to play proper electric guitars, uh, I took it up as a challenge. Like I would learn guitar by myself, or I will go somewhere and learn, and I would play in band.
So how many band members were you?
Five,
Five band members.
five band members, and
But
they
you
were,
have an affinity toward bass guitar, I believe so.
I started from bass.
Hmm.
Not with the college band though. So college band was like a first step
Okay.
in my world of figuring out bands and playing with them. What happened is when I was in college, I was asked to come to Cuttack for an audition. I didn't know for what, but I was asked to come with a guitar and we would go to some place and there will be some band members who would audition. And I didn't know where I was going. The band's drummer was actually a drummer in that band. And he took me there and I started jamming with those people and felt very natural. And then they said that, yeah, we would like to be a part of this band. And the band was Sweet Poison. And at that time, Sweet Poison was considered as one of the most commercial bands. And we used to come on newspapers and television, and we used to win competitions. We also had a female vocalist, which was a new thing in Odisha. And that happened, and that opened my eyes in the world of music. I felt welcomed in the community. I felt like that I can contribute, I can perform, and you know how it is when you're on stage, right? You become a different person, and that's what I was going through. That was the rebel phase in my life, and when my parents came to know about it, they were not very happy because I used to hide things from them from where I'm going to perform and all, because I know they would be worried. It's like 11 o'clock in the night and I'm performing somewhere. But I still did that, and actually that helped me in understanding musicians more and how to work with other sector people from other sectors. And you have to know, even if you are playing for pleasure, you need to know how are you being compensated, whether it's through a monetary form or somebody's giving you a sort of a highlight in their forum, or any newspaper is covering you. You need that kind of an exposure when you are performing.
We will
somewhere.
come to that. So,
Yeah.
so in this particular journey, tome engineering sariki, then you I think applied for Berkeley.
Yes, I did.
You got selected also.
So I applied for a master's program in music for TV, media, and games, video games.
Okay.
So I wanted to score, do scoring for all these forms of media. Right after engineering, where everybody just worries about what's next, and they start taking up classes for CAT and ZAT and GMAT
Correct.
and all. I was contemplating a lot. I have had conversations with my mother, and I told her that I was not happy with engineering. The things that I learned, like I want to complete it, but I won't be happy in this field if I want, because I don't want to work under someone. I want to express my own creativity. So then she said, why don't you apply for some music schools outside India, because at that time India did not have any good music colleges. There were colleges for sound engineering, but no colleges for music business or music production, that such. So going for higher studies seemed like a great idea. So I applied. I got into Berkeley, which was the Valencia campus in Spain, and so one of the criteria for being accepted there is that you need to have some kind of a technical knowledge, know-how in the field of music before going. I felt that I lacked that, because I have never been inside a studio and I've never operated those machines and all to understand sound engineering and all of that. So Then my mother and I decided to just go to Bombay and explore. Like I would just go and intern under someone for like 3 or 4 months, and then I would take the fall admission in Berkeley. I went to Bombay, and it's like something. I just got hit by a brick
You got
wall.
actually hit by the reality.
Reality. This is how life works. Because I had thought that Berkeley, having a degree from Berkeley would actually make me the shining star in the city and all. But no, it doesn't work like that. The reality is very different. First day in Bombay, I remember it was monsoon, and me and my mom, we started going and looking for places where I can go and intern, and we also looked out for schools that gave like a comprehensive course in the world of music production and sound engineering. Then I came across True School of Music, which was very well equipped. They had international teachers for
True school ta kodi ochi eta? True School
It
of
was in Lower Parel, but I made a shift here to Karjat
Okay.
because they now have affiliation with an university. But there was a prime location back then, Lower Parel, and so it was a culture shock for me because all the Sobo kids, or most of the students, my classmates were Sobo kids, or people who have come to Bombay from outside Maharashtra. So that was again life changing for me because every week I used to interact with someone from the industry. It'd be a singer or a composer or industry, like a music industry enthusiast or people from record labels. They would every Saturday they would come and give their talk on what their area of expertise is. And while I was studying there, I started picking up projects with a friend of mine, and we started our own studio in Bombay. And that's how I was sort of balancing work and studies for a year. And it was you used to get time to explore your art. It's not like you go there and every day learn something, because you need that break or sort of a time to explore what you have learned and implement it.
Sangeet, when I see you working in both the industry, in the Mumbai industry and the Odisha industry, and when we talk about Odia industry, we really resonate with Akhyamanti.
Yes.
And there are a lot of new age independent musicians in Odisha who are growing, and music producers also.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of things being worked upon. And there is I see there is some music which has really improved over the years. Be it Montu Churia, be it Gaurav Anand. Share some light over there, like how this industry is supposed to grow and how it will grow in the next 5, 7, 10 years.
I think giving chance to newcomers, because there's a lot of talent in the state, and they need the right platform to showcase their talent. So instead of not that I have anything against the A-listers of the industry because they made the industry what it is. Collaborations between newcomers is something that is really beneficial for them to learn and also give their best in whatever they're bringing onto the table. Like you mentioned, Gaurav, he's been his journey has been very inspirational for me as a composer to work with big names in the movie industry as well as with the government. We literally wake up to his voice every morning. So yeah, I think there's no short of talent here. It's just that people here need to be educated on how the economics of music works, because if you don't know how to earn money from a particular industry, you might face troubles and it might take a lot of time for you to get established here. So first and foremost is music, and as a subject it should be introduced in schools, in my opinion. How the whole industry works, because till now I don't think our parents know how musicians get money. The only plausible explanation that they might have or people give them is they get money from shows, but that's just one aspect of it. there is studio fees, studio session fees, there is royalties, there is sync licensing. There are so many different ways you can earn money. And yes, the industry here needs to implement these ideas and these concepts. And I also I have seen a rise in small scale record labels, which is a great boost to the independent industry over here, because there are chances that when you're releasing music with a major label, your music might just get lost in the huge pool if you're just starting out. There are very like small chances that you're going to make it big out there in the industry. Hence, when these smaller labels try to promote these new coming artists and independent artists, that results in a better growth and a better marketing. It's a better marketing method than to release it solely by yourself or with a major record label.
I just want to understand two things here,
Yeah.
right? ମୁଁ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି being a music producer both in Odisha and Mumbai, what are the things that you want to change or say are better, could be better in that sense in Odisha?
Remuneration, I think a little bit of hike in whatever the industry prices are would actually help someone bring more to the table than what people have been doing. From the field, speaking from the field, basically, if you pay me the rates that I would not even, I'm not even saying match the rates of Bombay, something like an incentive, incentivize me for like an ad project or a short film project that I'm doing. It will actually help me to feel better or feel secure that okay, I don't have to worry about my expenses for this month because this person trusts me enough with their work that I can actually provide a better output and also get compensated for the same. So yeah, better compensation, that is important. Because music is music. I don't care whether it doesn't matter whether it's Bombay or it's Odisha. You can't have a price on art just like that, just because it's being made in another city or a state and it's being made here. It's the same thing. The processes are the same. You use the same tools. You need to understand where the money comes from, how the money is generated when somebody presses play in Spotify or Apple Music, and where from that money travels to get to you as the owner of that particular content. I think that will help solve a lot of problems, because people think that with music you just get an upfront payment and then you're done, and then you later on you can say that he paid me this much over. But no, if you have worked on this, you are entitled to get your royalties. You're entitled to get some percentage of the total revenue share that is getting generated from.
How many labels are there in Odisha actually?
Quite a few. There are quite a few, because of the advent of distributors. Like, you can just reach out to distributors and they'll be able to sign it, because distributors don't ask for money upfront. They take a cut, very small percentage from you. So when distributors were easily accessible to people, there are labels sprouting from each region of the country, and everybody has a YouTube channel, and most of their revenue comes from YouTube. So you can't even complain that they're doing something wrong, because Odisha being Odisha, people don't even subscribe to Spotify Premium or a Ghana subscription or a Jio7 or Apple Music subscription. So hence, the primary medium is YouTube. So their business models largely revolves around music videos and YouTube revenues. And also, something that I came to know very recently, major chunk of the money in Odisha from music, yes, comes from YouTube first. Can you guess the second revenue generating stream?
No, tell me.
It's caller ringback tunes.
Huh.
Yes. It gives more money than any kind of a streaming platform that is on the internet right now. Because everybody has a phone. Everybody has access to the SIM toolkit where they can just go and pick any song that they want. And right now, I think you get charged hardly anything for having a CRBT. So yeah, that is one of the major chunk of revenue that comes to labels.
Nice, yeah. coming gote factor ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ବି ଅଛି that has been worrisome as well as interesting, the application of AI in the music. बहुत रा controversy ହେଇଛି ତା ବିଷୟରେ. The music can be copied, voice can be copied, and it can be used to malign someone.
Yes.
And also it can be used to improve a certain
Of course,
music
yeah.
scenario, right? Tell me how AI is useful in music, or how can it change the industry overall?
So I have seen the application of AI grow in this industry since the last 5-6 years. So right now, the general public is seeing the applications of AI in social media mostly. It's when one person changes the voice of, like, brings in Rafi's voice or Kishore Kumar's voice and all of that. That is extensive work, and that requires a lot of data sets to do. As fun as it sounds, it is very tedious, and yeah, things are changing. But yeah, it's also created a murmur in the industry that what is going to happen, what's the future of this. There is a rift that has been created in the industry where most of the artists are saying that it's fine if you want to use my voice, you just pay us for that, just give us a chunk of royalty. But then there's this other section of artists who are saying it's unethical, you can't use that without permission and all. So that is just the vocal side of things. As a singer, how can you impersonate or copy someone? There are a lot of things that are being discussed. I think there are new laws that are being formulated to tackle this. The application of AI before all of this, which I have been using for the last 5-6 years, is in the world of post-production. And that is a boon for music producers and engineers because it saves a lot of time. I particularly use AI in the mixing and mastering process where I have to achieve a certain kind of texture or a sound that the client wants and has given me a reference of. I don't have to sit or rely on my ear training or hire someone who has a better set of ears to achieve that sound. I can just ask the program to sort of study this song, the sonic characteristics of this song or this track or this recording, and sort of help me replicate it. Also, it helps me in removing frequencies that are not required. Something that is not audible to the ears, I can just chuck it off and make space and more music. So there are a lot of technical good AI applications in the world of music. Also, this is the technical side of things. Also, when you're making music, AI helps you get a good set of chord progressions, something that you wouldn't have thought of. Like you can just give a prompt that you need this much. This is the kind of structure you're thinking. So generate a good progression of chords for me. But in the end, you know how AI works. AI works with a prompt. So your product is as good as the prompt that you give. So it depends on what kind of knowledge that you have and what is your direction while you're making this sort of product that is in your mind. So yeah, in terms of the good applications of AI, we are really getting somewhere. The music making process is getting really fun and saves a lot of time. But then there is this darker side of replicating someone's work or voice, which needs to be addressed. And I think blockchain is going to help people get that kind of ethical sort of a justice to all of this, because as blockchain works, it has a peculiar identity. Every song or every track or every stem that you make will have a peculiar identity that will trace back to its original owner. So I think that is the only way you can figure out who made this particular piece of music or recorded this particular. Yeah, it's in the works, and a lot of money is being invested.
Very interesting, yeah.
Because music has always been a digital form. From analog, it has been a digital form, right? There has been no security or any kind of a encryption attached to it, because anybody can just pirate anything that is there on the internet. Like even Spotify and Apple Music are not safe. There are websites that you can just paste the link and download. So it doesn't matter whether you do piracy or you are part of that. It's just that how can you trace back this particular piece of music to its original owner? I think that is the major breakthrough right now that we are getting. That no matter who remixes it or pitches it up or slows it down, puts it in an Instagram reel, you can still go back and understand or know who actually made it and who should be getting the royalties.
Studio IO, which is your, you have co-founded that. But tell me about the vision of Studio IO.
To build a community, like I was saying. So we have these. We started doing these jam sessions at home. It was totally an experimentation. The first jam session was like 2-3 people just jamming with their instruments. What I felt at that time that all musicians need is a safe space for their ideas. A creative space where somebody is there to encourage them or sort of capture that moment. So I said, then why not? Like, let's make this a thing. That's how I met you as well.
Absolutely.
So you were there in the first jam session. So when they used to come, we started putting out content. We're just recording snippets of the best parts of the jam session. And we used to bring in even more kinds of musicians and also people from the industry, which was another great leap in the world of Studio IO, where people started noticing us and they started noticing that there is a community that is being built of musicians and other artists. You don't have to be a well-versed musician to come join those jam sessions. Just need to love music, that's all. So we had influencers coming in, we had actresses from the industries coming in. Of course there were musicians, there were also people who just wanted to come and listen and just have a good time. I still remember my neighbors coming out of their houses and just putting their chairs outside in the balcony and just listening to this. It's just a vibe that you have to create in order to accommodate musicians in the community.
And I must really thank your wife Deepsa to organize all those events.
I won't give her the whole credit. But yeah, she's been there from the start. One of the reasons I am what I am today is her. The major reason is because she has pushed me to do the impossible, to get out of my cocoon and explore whatever I have in me as a musician. I would have never called myself a musician or a music producer had not she been in my life 10 years ago. So yeah, that it's a great journey, and to have her as my business partner it's something else. Keeps me in check because you have to wear multiple hats. You can't be an artist all the time. You have to think as a business person. You have to think as an entrepreneur. You have to think sometimes as somebody who does not know anything about music. You have to put yourself in those shoes, and she kind of gets those perspectives. And I don't have to look for validation or look for feedback from other people. I have someone who's just living with me who can give me that insight. So yeah, she's just amazing in whatever she does. Yeah, and also she taught me a lot in the world of professionalism and business, because I had zero knowledge about that. She by the age of 18, she already had a company back then.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so yeah, that she has been a great help.
Now let's take a deep dive kariba hame music and it is always said spirituality and music are very correlated. Yeah. And music can heal a person. And I know for a fact that you have gone for Vipassana. Yes. Vipassana story how does it feel to go for a 10 days of Vipassana, like cutting yourself off from the world?
I seriously didn't ever think कि मैं करी Deepsha went for Vipassana before me, and people were placing bets. कि से रॉय बनी से पढ़े ऐसे वो. So I I took it up as a challenge. Also, I felt that I needed something out of it. एमती नहीं कि मुझे किसी ମନରେ ରଖିକି ଯାଇଥିଲି कि ମୋତେ ଏହା ହିଁ ଦରକାର, ମୋତେ ଏହା ହିଁ ଜାଣିବାର ଅଛି. I went there with an open mind, but I was ready to receive. So when I went there, it was a very physically and mentally strenuous activity for 10 days, which makes you grounded in the end. But there were a lot of benefits that I got from Vipassana. I returned back to home a changed human being, and the most major benefit that I got from that was uh, these discourses that we used to have in the evening, because throughout the day you would just meditate, and in the evening you would get these discourses from the founder of the Global Vipassana Foundation, Sri Goenkaji, and he would use a language which was pretty unknown to everybody, to us, which was called Pali, the Pali language. And Pali language, we were taught stories of Buddha and Buddha's journey, Buddha's different stages of nirvana and all of that. So I connected with that the most, and I came back devoid of any inclination, or I was not there was no craving to have something or eat something or achieve something in life. I just like whatever is there, it's there. Whatever path you take the path there. You don't have to think twice or thrice for uh, worrying about the sort of decisions you took. And then I went there with sort of having a sort of expecting a way forward in my life. Okay, I have achieved this, and this. What next? What next is there? So in those 10 days, I actually, when I was not meditating, I devised a whole plan on how, because I have been making music for other people a lot in my life. So I needed to do something for myself. So as an artist, how I would see myself, I am not a singer. I am an instrumentalist, yes, but then people don't consume instrumental music that much. So the final dice that I rolled was electronic music, because I have been associated with electronic music since many years after TSM, and I wanted that to be my identity as an artist. But in India, English and electronic music market itte basi bhi nahi. So whatever things I've done in electronic music in the past, I've got an international exposure. People from other countries are interested in listening to my music. So then I thought, how can I make the audience over here? Because we have the numbers here. We have 1.7 billion people. How can I make some kind of music that will appeal to the masses over here? So then it came to me, it's like, why not combine my two worlds? Like, I come from a classical background, I come from an electronic and technical background. Why not merge these worlds together? Why not collaborate with people who are way different from the sectors that I am associated with, and learn something from them? And that's actually what happened. And then Project Pali came into being. So
Very interesting name though.
yes, so I wanted something short.
Yes.
I wanted something that people would remember.
It is basically your entry into the electronic music scene
Yes.
in India.
Yeah.
And being an independent musician as you are, it's very interesting to see a person getting into this field from Odisha.
Right.
Right? And I think you would be the only one.
No, there are people. So the way people start off in the electronic music industry is they start off being DJs. There are a lot of people doing it, but my angle is different because I make music. So I would like to make a concept album or a series of tracks first, which I recently just finished, and then I would just perform it. And I tend to bring in the audio visual experience side of things instead of just playing music to people, because that's how you consume music as well. You see a music video and you hear the song, and it kind of strikes a chord in your brain. So it's that idea that if I am making something, it has to be thought from a visual perspective as well. Let it be a music video or the visuals that play behind me or the lights that are there while I'm performing. They all have to be a part of that story. It's not like the light is doing something else, the visuals are speaking something else. Whatever emotions that I'm trying to convey, whatever idea I had in my mind while making the song, people should have a part of that as well. So that's the idea. It started exactly a year ago. Very happy to finish all these things that I sort of formulated during Vipassana last year, and right now it's just a start. I
What exactly is the future for Pali you're looking at? And I'm sure you are going national with it. International with it.
I want to go out. I want to represent the sounds of India. I want to make a stand that, not only people from Europe or US know how to make electronic music. Indians are great at it too, and that too, not just have Indian elements in it. I want to collaborate with international artists as well. Recently, I had a collaboration with two Kenyan rappers, and it turned out great. And that I'll be performing that in my live shows, and I hope that people like it. But yeah, I think the kind of music that I'm making has scope for collaboration from people from uh, all parts of the world. I really want to go and make music with an Arabic tribe or the Gypsies from UK. So yeah, the list is endless, because what I felt that when I started collaborating with people, I grew as an artist, as a person, and that should not stop. And as long as that's there, I think Pali will be there.
So the last question
Yes.
I want to ask: what would you advise the young Sangeet Pattnaik, who is fresh out of college, played in the bands, want to pursue music full time?
I would say have good dialogue with your parents, because I don't care who else supports you. Your parents need to know what you're getting into, and parents these days need to know uh, what has the world become, because it's not the same as that of their era where they were listening to music. Right now, it's a game changer. People are earning a living through music and all. Parents, I figured that parents are skeptical of just the uncertainty of money coming to you, because they know that you have to work hard, and they don't want their child to work really hard to do that. But if it's something that's coming from you naturally, I think you should make your parents and your family understand that you can do this, you can take the pressure, you can take the grind, you can take the hustle. And something that Mumbai taught me was, you know there are 10,000 people like you, there are a lakh people like you. Why do you need to do this? You should just go back home, right? But that's it, right? Those 10,000 people are doing this because they're getting something from it, right? They're able to express themselves, they're able to express their art. They are somehow a bit free from the people who are in a rat race and sort of following whatever they've been fed since they were kids. So yeah, I think a good dialogue with your family, because your family is your biggest strength, or your partner, or your guardian, whosoever understands you. They need to understand that if there is a tiny bit of spark of music in you, you can actually do better. And yeah, just finding the right people to work with, that is more important. I have made some wrong choices, and that has helped me grow. But then I wish the 18-year-old or 22-year-old Sangeet Pattnaik knew how to understand people better and how to keep things separately, as in have a professional and personal side separate and don't mix those things. Yeah, those are my two bits of advice.
Thank you so much, Sangeet. It was pleasure talking to you on
Thank
the
you for
Odisha
having
Dream,
me.
and I believe you will do wonders with Pali as well as Studio IO.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.